Leon, 6 of the next 8 games, I think, are like top 100 games here. I mean, what kind of stretch are you guys kind of going into here? A chance to obviously make a statement, make some, show what you guys can be.
Well, not to do the coach speak, but we don't care. It's the next one, which is Santa Clara, and they're really, really good, and they're getting some guys back, and they had a stretch where they had a couple guys out, and with those guys, they were undefeated, and they beat Nevada by 22, and that gets your attention right away, and really well coached, really can shoot the ball, and it's gonna be a heck of a challenge.
You see some of these teams that load up on just 8 home games against 200 minus teams, whatever. I mean, you've talked a lot about why you scheduled, but I mean, do you guys feel like you're battle tested for what's ahead here with the stretch?
Oh, absolutely. It made us confront some issues and make some changes with those issues, and I think I think if you would have asked me 4 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago if we could score 97 in a game, I said we probably couldn't score 97 in an empty gym, but now we look a little different, and it's amazing how when you confront some of those things and you address your issues and you work on it with your guys, and you're forced to, need is the mother of necessity, right? And sure showed up with us, and so it's got us playing better, and competition's got us playing better, and we're improving, and now, like you said, we've got a bunch of games that are resume type games, if you want to say, or league type games, and then the league starts. So a lot of tough ones ahead of us right now, but again, it's just about this next one, which is Santa Clara, and really, really good team.
So what do they do well?
Well, first of all, they can all of them can really shoot, and they're super skilled. They know their roles. They play well together. They space the floor well. All those things make it hard to guard. And you look in their wins; they've shot about 45% from 3, and that's if you're going to let them get looks, and sometimes even when you don't let them get looks, they can make them. They're that good of players. So I think that's a big key and a big challenge to be able to stop them from making threes.
How do you prepare for a team when you're not exactly sure who's going to play?
Yeah, that's always tough. But we don't. I always guard against over preparing for a team. I think, sometimes when you get your stuff headed in the right direction, you start worrying too much about the opponent, and it's a delicate balance. You got to keep, like yesterday, we really worked on a lot of our stuff and to keep improving on things we can keep improving on, but with the simple things of, hey, this is what we have to be able to do to play this game, because you don't want to make it where it's just all about the opponent, and every game is you're fixing things and changing things just for that opponent. You want to have the core things that you do well and keep getting better at those.
Conversely, for your team, what are you guys doing really well right now?
Well, jumps off the page. One of my things is rebounding, and it, that jumps out to me that we're getting better rebounding the ball, and I think we're one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country, and our defensive rebound percentage is right there too. So we're doing a great job of that. We're starting the ball, like I said, in November, maybe we had our moments of the ball really clicking and our offense being greater than the sum of the parts, and I think you're seeing that now a little more consistently.
Knowing that Santa Clara is good from 3, and you guys, for some reason, people like to shoot the 3 on you guys. What makes kind of, how do you approach that as a coach, I guess?
Well, if you look, we're 3rd in this country in least threes made.
Most.
No, least.
Oh.
Least.
Did I look at that wrong? Okay.
Yeah, it's the opposite.
One moment,
Stop, reverse
Rachel.
that. Yeah, it's the
So never
opposite.
mind. Bad question. You've got 3 games, non-conference games left. Obviously, with conference approaching so quickly, what are some of the things that you want to focus on in these next 3 games?
2 out of the 3 games are going to be like league games, really.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they really do a nice job of, one's on a neutral, one's at home. It does those things will serve as like, hey, this is what it's going to be like. This is, night in, night out in this league, and so I think that always helps you mentally a little bit, and so just to get in that flow of playing that good a competition, and our league, you look at our first 5 or 6 games in the league, and you're like, whoa, That's daunting. So you can't look at that. We're just looking at this one, and these good games will help us prepare for those down the road.
I would imagine the WCC is special to you when you play WCC teams and whatnot. What type of affection do you have for that league, Leon?
Well, would you say love, hate? I don't know. Because I was in it 11 years. That's a long time, and you know, we had great battles up and down that league. And you know, the thing I was telling Mark the other day is I think that league's maybe as good as it's ever been. When you really start breaking it down, you got, you know, a Gonzaga team who's top 5 in the country, and then, you know, BYU's been rated pretty highly, and St. Mary's is a really good basketball team, and Santa Clara is a really good basketball team, and San Francisco's undefeated, and you know, you go on down. That's pretty good depth right there to have, you know, 5 or 6, you know, LMU. I didn't mention them. You got 5 or 6 that are probably just close to NCAA caliber teams or postseason teams, and that's probably the most that they've had in a long, long time.
We seem like we ask you about the crowd almost every game, but I know they were 0-8 and it was a Friday night and there was a lot going on, but it wasn't a huge crowd last game. How do we saw it in St. Louis and Tulsa, kind of these 50-50 games where the crowd can help you at home. I mean,
yeah,
you got the game at home for a reason. How important do you need tomorrow, a big crowd?
Oh, that's huge, BJ, and that it always does help us. It makes a big difference. And you know, we got a great nucleus of basketball fans that like to see a good basketball game, and I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to see tomorrow. 2 teams battling, and you know, hopefully we can bring it, and hopefully we can play our best game, because that's what it's going to require. And when you need to play your best game, you need your home crowd to maybe give you some sort of an advantage. And so, you know, we need the fans to come out. Bronco Nation, we need you there.
Will it be good to see a familiar face on their bench in Scott Garson?
Oh, I never noticed that. You know, Scott's done a great job, and I've known him over the years for a long, long time, way before College of Idaho. I mean, you know, this guy's been around some great coaches, and he's a great coach in himself. And so it'll be good to welcome him back, but, you know, you just kind of see him before and then a little bit after, so it's not... us coaches, we don't get to do much socializing during the season. That happens during the recruiting trail and things like that.
I know you guys aren't too worried about outside affirmation, but to see Degenhart get honored by the Mountain West today, you know, what does that mean to you, and kind of, you know, affirms that he is doing well? And
Oh no, that's a great one. I love that. You know, have one of the better freshmen in the league. That, you know, that always makes you feel good, because that's a guy that can be a cornerstone guy in this program. That's what, you know, when we recruited him, that's what we've told him, and it's coming to fruition. And so that, you know, and again, like, I think he's just scratching the surface right now of how good he can be. And I mean, you know, when you consider how little experience he's had in Division I basketball, it's amazing what he's doing.
Is there an area that he maybe has exceeded what you thought he'd be able to do as a freshman?
You know, I have my best case scenarios in my head of like, well, I think he can do this. But until you see guys under the lights, you really don't know. I mean, you think you know, but you have some guys that surprise you in the gamer qualities, you know, that they have, and I think he definitely has that. He's got the moxie and the winning attitude, and makes everybody around him better. That's probably his best attribute.
With that stat, I was going to ask you about that stat on the threes and the fewest percentage of shots teams take being from 3. They, you know, is that more you're playing teams that don't shoot a lot of threes, or is that more you guys taking that away?
It's our emphasis, and it was our emphasis going into this season, and I think you can see that this team is different defensively than some of the other teams I've had. We're doing some great things, and we just got to maintain it and keep getting better at it, and you can't let that slide. And the crazy thing about that can slide in a minute, you know. I mean, just by giving, you know, a team like this, you don't even have to give them open threes. They can make them through a hand and make them contested, and so it's going to be a big, big challenge.